Let's go to Tom in San Francisco.
Boss is so pissed.
Hey, Tom, you're on with Willard and Dibs, live, Hilton, Santa Clara, game day. What's up? What you doing?
Willard Dibs, thank you for the show. Great day today, every day. I can tell you guys are enjoying yourselves pre-game.
Oh, man, it's so fun down here. Yeah, go ahead.
So I called to introduce a new statistic, but I wanted to comment on the Purdy thing real quick.
Yeah.
He plays like he's been there. He's not surprising anyone, and I think there's some irony to him being the cool Joe. If he had a signature celebration like the Superman reveal or something that, you know, he shows a little emotion here and there, but he's playing like a pro. I think that's part of why he doesn't stand out as much. He's playing like he has always belonged in that role. But what I wanted to ask you guys was, does anyone else notice this? We've got Debo playing like a beast, and we talk about the yak, but does anyone notice the whack, the wincing after the catch? On the sidelines, kneeling. Sometimes I wonder, like Ayuk last week, I thought that dude was an absolute warrior. He was really a little dinged, came back out. But Debo looks like that almost after every serious attempt at even maybe gaining an extra half a yard. And I wonder, was it in his contract and they told him he was going to carry the ball more, that whack was how he got there? Am I the only one seeing that? And I'll take the comments off the phone. You guys are awesome. Thanks.
Okay. Hey, Tom, thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
I'd answer that two ways. I think there's two answers that both fit. Because I noticed the play he's talking about in the Rams game where Debo looked very uncomfortable. Went over to the sideline, and he was really doubled over. And then he goes right back in the game. I, too, worry about Debo Samuel's health because of the way he plays. ... I've also accepted ain't no change in that. Like, Debo knows one speed. He is an absolute dog. He loves to play physical. You're not going to teach Debo to slide and go out of bounds.
No.
And quite frankly, he's one of the few receivers where I would argue that it lessens who he is if he were to do that. I would actually argue for most receivers, Ayuk included, get down, get out of bounds. But the reason Debo's running the ball out of the backfield as a receiver and is so unique is because of the yards that he can gain with his physicality. So I worry about it. I think he's used to it. I think you're going to see him leave the field sometimes.
Right.
And I also think he's one of the best at coming back. So it's just one of those things that the Niners have decided to live with. That's when they signed him to that deal.
Like you're saying, Mark, and I think it was Peter King who talked about the change in terms of receivers. Like, do you want guys who can run a 4.4? Yes, but more and more now, it's important to have guys who can be physical after the catch, because we talked about this earlier, and I actually found the article yesterday, and I meant to share it with you, but I didn't. But it was about the death of the deep ball.
Yes.
Because we don't throw the deep ball as much as we used to, which the deep ball rewards guys with that 4.4, that 4.35, 40 speed, where you can blow the top off and throw it, you know, to Ronnie Bell, and you can get a guy, Danny Gray, down the field. You're so fast, and we're going to pump it to you. We're going to hit you with the deep ball. But teams don't do that anymore. So if you're not going deep and you're going to go short, you want a guy who can make other guys miss, but you also want guys who can break tackles and get those yak yards, and that's Debo. The only thing that affects you is the reality that he's going to miss games. And if you look at his career, in first year he played 15, then he played 7, he played all 16 in 2021, then he played 13. So you're going to have to understand that Debo's probably going to miss a couple, maybe 1, 2, or 3, hopefully not more than that, because the way he plays.
Yeah, I mean, what are the stats on his games played each year? Like, how many has he missed?
He missed 1 in his rookie year, and then the next year he missed 9. Then he played them all.
Yep.
Then he missed 4, and then he's played them all.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
1, 9, and 4. He's missed 14 games in basically 4 years. This is his 5th year.
To be honest with you, if you had put the over-under somewhere around here a few years ago, I'd have taken the under. Like, I'm impressed at how often he's been able to be out there with the way he plays. And so this is something I used to think about a little bit more prior to him being signed to another contract. But, yeah, we've reached a time where it's just like, you got to live with it because it's who he is. And
it's who you need him to be,
I agree.
right?
Yeah, I agree. Zach in San Francisco. Next up, Willard and Dibs live, Hilton Santa Clara, out here right in front of the tailgate, free to enter as we get ready for this game. Hey, Zach, what's up?
Hey, guys, long-time listener, first-time caller.
Thanks, man.
Zach, yeah.
Appreciate you guys having me on. Just wanted to share some thoughts on the lack of Brock Purdy jerseys. So I'm a big-time jersey guy myself. Like to rock my favorite players. And I think a lot of us in this are in the same boat as me. The people that would be Brock Purdy jersey wearers are Trey Lance jersey owners. And I'm not ready to commit to a new jersey yet, not ready to spend the money until I know that he's going to be a consistent guy. I'm also worried about jinxing him. You know, my last purchase of the Trey Lance jersey, not really a great purchase in the long run.
Well, Zach, can I ask you a question? If you view a jersey as a commitment, then what brought you to buy a Trey Lance jersey?
You know, that's a great question. I viewed the trading up of 2 additional first-round picks to get him as a commitment, and I now realize that, you know, that's not enough. And I feel like my gut is telling me to wait for a player to get a long-term contract, really show that they can play in the league, or, you know, someone wins a Super Bowl, an exception can be made. Trey Lance, if he wins a Super Bowl somehow last year, even if he gets traded, even if he's no longer on the team, that's a player you can still rock. So I'm waiting, you know, for a few years for Brock, or, you know, maybe just 1 year if things go the way they should.
Yeah, I mean, Zach, it's all, to me,
Yeah,
it's
Zach.
all, thanks, Zach. It's all fair answers.
Thanks.
And, you know, like, I mean, as we like to say, rock out with your Brock out. Like, go ahead and rock whoever you want. And I get why maybe a lot of people bought Trey Lance jerseys based on who he was supposed to be.
Right.
Not just as a good player, but a physically, like, aesthetic player.
And they committed to him.
Yes,
so, I mean,
I get that.
So that's why I understand why you would buy that. But at the same time, they haven't committed to Brock Purdy yet, but they won't, but they kind of have.
Well, are you saying the 49ers?
Like, they haven't committed in terms of contract.
Well, they don't have to, but they've committed to him in every way that they can at this hour.
So that's where it becomes interesting to me. But as we're looking at this tailgate, and I would say half the people who are rocking red colors are in jerseys, which is, I think it's fantastic to see. And I've seen a grand total of 3 Brock Purdy's, and one of them just said relevant on the back.
I like that.
Yeah, which is a unique way to rock your 13.
Yeah, I completely get it. When we think about people who are going to buy a jersey, it tends to be something that is maybe a little bit more eye-popping, something that's a little bit more aesthetic. Now, Brady got to a point where he was a very high jersey sell guy, but you're right, it was because of accomplishment.
Right.
Not because of like some athletic prowess that like pours out all over your TV screen. So I don't want this to roll into I'm yelling at people to buy Brock Purdy jerseys. Right. I don't care what the hell you wear. I don't need any Brock Purdy jerseys to be sold. I'm just trying to find out why there isn't a Linsanity vibe. And I don't want to call it a Shohei vibe, because Shohei is literally doing something that never been seen in the history of life.
Right, and he's not flash in the pan. And that's where the Linsanity, I think that's where the comp comes from, because Jeremy Lin, that was a 3-week period where it was like, oh my God. I think it's more of the Tebow effect. Because Tim Tebow,
that's a good one.
That was a real flash, and he won a playoff game, and it's like, oh my God, this guy's amazing.
Yeah,
and
but not real. Like, he could never even score 17 points. It was just that he would miraculously win at the end.
But Jeremy Lin was not going to be able to average 25 a night, but he did for a couple of weeks.
You didn't know that then. You know what I mean?
Well, you kind of knew it.
I don't know,
and I'm
man.
not hating on the kid from Palo Alto High and Harvard. I've been a fan. I actually covered him in high school.
I guess
Grandy.
This is kind of my point. This is my point. We are not a society that sits there when they see something great in sports and goes, I'm going to be patient here and hold my opinion for later. I mean, literally, that's what you guys attach to me. You make fun of me for it. Like, it'll be April, and the Giants will lose 3 in a row. I'll be like, this stupid season's going nowhere. And if I go, hey, Did you see how it plays out? Oh, here we go with positive Paul over here. So we are a society in sports that jumps to conclusions very, very quickly.
Right.
Yet with Brock Purdy, we won't. I need to see more. Okay, I know that was last season and this season and in the playoffs and in the regular season and come from behind and come from ahead and 30 points a game. I know it's happened 10 times in a row, but I'm not going to get excited yet. I'm not ready to make a commitment yet. Well, when else do we do that in sports? We don't do that. That's not Americans.
Well, it depends on...
It's actually against what we do.
It depends on how you're looking at it because, yeah, Brock Purdy has been great. And I'm not going to sit here and say that he's not a terrific quarterback. And, you and I ran through our list last week and all the rest of it. But his success is a product of the team's success because the team has been successful. And Brock Purdy could have the same numbers on a different team, and if they were 5-5 in his first 10 starts, we wouldn't be talking about it as much.
No, we wouldn't. But that's not how sports works. He wins. Like Tom Brady was never right. All these quarterbacks that were Tom Brady's colleagues all lapped him statistically. We celebrate Drew Brees and his yards, and we celebrate Brett Favre and his touchdowns. And we celebrate Peyton Manning and his yards. Tom Brady becomes the GOAT because what? Wins.
Super Bowls.
Wins.
Yeah.
So let's go to Nick on the freeway, on the way to the game. Nick, I hope you come see us. You're on with Willard and Dibs. What's up?
Hey, Dibs, first of all, I feel your pain. I'm 0-2, lost by a combined score of like 3 points in fantasy, so I'm feeling you at 0-2.
Thank you, Nick. I'm getting beat down, and I'm on the hot seat, and I'm the owner of the team. But go ahead.
Hey, you'll snap out of it, man. All I gotta say is, it's a win now society, but it's also about belief, man. Like this year, I firmly 100% believe that the Niners are going to win the Bowl, and you got to do that every time because our team is poised. We're battle tested. We've had every ups and downs that you could possibly have. And we seem to overcome it. Shanahan has righted the ship. We got to stop. And the one thing we got to do is we got to keep ripping on Shanahan because every time we praise Shanahan, he goes right down the tubes the next game. So as long as we're ripping on Shanahan, we'll be good to go. But let me tell you something. There's no front running, man. I mean, Brock Purdy. He's like, man, like the cat's meow, man. He's the snow on Christmas Day when the kids wake up and they run out and make snow angels, man. You know what I mean? He's a beast. I don't know what people are waiting to talk about with Brock Purdy, but he's out there outperforming most every quarterback in the NFL, and I don't know what part of him dissecting defenses and doing his wide receiver progressions people aren't getting, because that's what the man does better than any quarterback that I've seen with the Niners in a long time, probably better than even Jeff Garcia.
Nick, appreciate it. I think you're speaking a lot of truth, but by the way, if you think that there's some sort of he hung up. I was going to say, he made it sound like there was almost a superstition, like you got to rip Shanahan before every game.
Yes.
I wanted to know what his rip of Shanahan was going to be. What can you even say right now?
In order to make sure that they're sharp? Well, for me, and maybe it's because I'm a George Kittle owner, but you're not using Kittle enough.
I thought we kissed that off at the beginning of the year, winning big games and then coming in and talking about who didn't get involved.
No, we have not even come close to kissing that off. And honestly, the real rip is that, and this is the same thing that I said about Gabe Kapler, and it's kind of been maybe proven out late in the year. You use Doval too much, you're using McCaffrey too much.
Okay, that's actually, I think, a fair...
Yeah.
The
Kittle one is
early season comment.
The Kittle one is because I have him on my team.
The Kittle one doesn't matter. I don't think you have any conversations about any individual 49er until, if, and when they're having trouble scoring. But if you're scoring, I couldn't give a rip who it is.
Sure.
I don't know, if Jawan Jennings scores 3 tonight, awesome.
As long as they don't care, and so far they don't care.
And I don't think they do.
Not yet. Not yet.
I think your McCaffrey point is one that bears watching, and he's already spoken to it this week, too.
Right.
Kyle Shanahan.
Well, I can't believe that I forgot Eli Mitchell and stuff, and I need to do a better job of getting him in there and stuff, and realizing that, Christian can't carry it every time and stuff, and I'm going to try and do a better job of having Eli Mitchell and stuff.
What's Eli Mitchell's over-under tonight? I feel like I want to bet it's over. I feel like they're going to swing the pendulum too far in the other
Guru
direction.
actually.
Is there an over? Can you find an over/under on Eli Mitchell?
Guru was like, I got the over at 8 carries. So I was like, that's an under.
I meant yards. I want Eli
There's
Mitchell
carries
yards.
and there's yards.
Yeah, give me. See if you can find that.
You go to the phones,
right.
and I'll find it for you.
Noah.
It's teamwork, boss. That's what we do here.
I love it.
Afternoons.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Let's
Amen,
Let's go
brother.
to Noah. He's really good with bagels. He's in San Jose. What's up, Noah? What are you doing?
What's going on, man?
Come on, man. Come on. We'll shout out. What's up, Noah? What are you doing?
What's going on, man? I'm going home from work.
Man.
That's too bad. Not supposed to work on the opening day.
I was calling because I think that dude was talking about jerseys and he wasted his money on a Trey Lance jersey. But,
Well,
I just
that hurts.
got to a Garcia and called it a day.
I mean, a lot of people bought Trey Lance jerseys,
Yeah.
Noah. Why wouldn't they? People were excited.
I'm trying to get my money back on my Zane Gonzalez right now.
I'm saying I put a Garcia on the top of it and called it a day. I got a repatch.
Yeah, you could do that. A Jeff Garcia throwback. Thanks, Noah. Appreciate it. Noah's call went about as well as my bagel joke. Let's.
You got to go with the arc when he comes to Noah.
Let's go to Jonathan in the city. Hey, Jonathan, what's up? What you doing?
Hey, happy game day Thursday. I just have a cautionary tale, coming from a very long time 49ers fan. It is the Giants, and the Giants are weird. I remember we're about to win a three-peat, a juggernaut dynasty back then, and then we fumbled the ball, lost to the Giants.
Yep.
Repeat, bye-bye. And then not too long ago, under Jim Harbaugh, we got Kyle Williams twice. We were about the most physically imposing team out there at that time, and it was a stormy day, a stormy night, and we got Kyle Williams twice, so I have a little bit of a New York Giants PTSD. And it's a Thursday night, so a little bit of a cautionary tale. And after all, it's the New York Giants.
Jonathan, I totally get it, but at the same time, I think even you realize that is not a rational thought. This Giants team's got nothing to do with those, and also, even if it did, this is totally different in terms of ability. What you brought up are memories of NFC Championship games. This is not a playoff team, and I know that it's way too early to write off a 1-1 football team, but I thought that before the year. I think it now. I think it even more now, in fact. I do not think the New York Giants are a football team, and this is a totally different animal than the things that happen when the ball doesn't bounce your way in January in playoff games. Those are obviously games that could go either way.
Right, and that's what happened last year with Brock Purdy in Philadelphia. It was an injury that happened, and that ultimately cost you a chance to compete and maybe win a game. But I don't know about tonight in Week 3 in the NFL, if you can really lean on that as a reason why that you might be able to lose a game. I don't know exactly what the percentage is of teams winning outright with double-digit favorites, but it's greater than 90%. And I tried to find that number yesterday, and I couldn't find it. I'm not locating these player props. They were taken off the board.
Oh, no.
In my book. So
I wonder if that's because Ayuk is out. Does it have a trickle-down effect?
I wonder about that, but I do think that Eli Mitchell is going to get an early shot. I think he's going to get a healthy dose. And, if you look at how this game should go, it should be a game where the Niners are up big in the fourth quarter, and then Eli Mitchell gets a lot of carries late anyway.
There's that, but I think with Kyle talking openly about getting him more involved, you're going to see him some tonight anyway, for sure. It's Willard and Dibs live at the Hilton Santa Clara. So glad that you are with us, and if you're on the way to the game, special shout-out, and the free tailgate is right in front of us, and we would love for you to come by, get some food, drink, and give us a wave. How about Tom in Iowa? I don't think he's on the way to the game. Hi, Tom. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm a Hawkeye fan.
Okay, I think I know where you're going.
George Kittle.
No, I hated Purdy. I always used to say, you sure got a Purdy mouth.
Is this because of just your fandom or because of the way he started his 49er career?
It's my fandom. He's our quarterback for the future. Next 10 years.
Absolutely, Tom. Well, I don't know about, I don't want to get into the whole 10 years thing, but I guess, Tom, that's kind of what I'm getting at. And thanks, Tom. And sorry that you've had to turn around and root for a cyclone. But that's kind of my point. You can be happy simply about the team. Forget the individuals. I think that's good. I think that's a good thing. But as a 49er fan, aren't you looking at this right now and going, oh, my God, we got our guy. We got our guy. It's what every fan base wants, is to go, we got our guy at the QB position. There's no better feeling for an NFL fan base than when you feel like we've got our guy. I feel that way. I think many of us do.
Did you feel that way with Jimmy Garoppolo when he led you to the Super Bowl? Did you feel like you had your guy?
Yes.
He was the highest paid QB in football for a time.
I did. Absolutely.
And you had your guy.
But not at this level, but yes, I did.
Right.
I did. And we could have had a total conversation about whether indeed they did have their guy.
Right.
They had a lot of success with him.
They did have their guy.
Yeah.
And then they got to the point where they realized that he wasn't good enough in their eyes. And so they went out and then they drafted their guy, who turned out to not be their guy.
Right.
And then they found their guy as Mr. Irrelevant, who now is their guy. So, yes, Niner fans should be excited that they have their guy, but realize that it's not a permanent thing.